In this lab exercise, we're going to use the Autopsy forensic browser tool in Kali Linux. So to get started, in step 1 of the exercise steps, make sure you've started your Kali Linux virtual machine and you've logged in with the username of Kali and a password of Kali. I've already done that. So the next thing I'm going to do is open up a terminal window. In step 2, we are asked to start the Autopsy tool by running sudo and then space autopsy. It asks for the Kali password. I'll specify Kali because that is the password. And what happens is we get a message that shows us down below that there is a URL that we can connect to in an HTML web browser in order to continue working with the Autopsy tool. So I can just go ahead with my mouse and right click on that and I can choose Open Link. So that's going to take me to the Autopsy webpage here on my local Kali Linux instance. Now, on step 4, at the bottom of the page, the web page here, what we can do, and I may have to scroll down depending on my resolution, I can choose New Case. I'm going to create a case here called Case 1. And I could fill in fictitious description information. This is my first case. And I can fill in the names of investigators. So perhaps I'll just put in my own name there. Okay, so once we've got that, I'm going to go ahead at the bottom. Now, we've got that information that's been listed there. So what I really want to do at this point is just choose New Case. Now, after I've clicked New Case, I'm going to add a host. So I'm going to click the Add Host button. And I'm going to add a fictitious name. I'll just accept the default fictitious name of host 1. And I'm just going to scroll down. I could fill in description, time zone information. And normally you would do that, but at this point I'll just click Add Host. After which I'm then going to click Add Image. Then I'll click Add an Image File. Now, what I want to do at this point for one location is I'm going to specify a supplied sample partition image file that's available here in our virtual machine. So here's where it is, /home/Kali, and it's called sample partition.img. Actually, if we just perhaps maybe go back to our command prompt, why don't we open a new one? And let's just take a look at our home directory here. If I do an ls, there it is, sample partition.img. So that file's already there. Okay, so we've already acquired some kind of a forensic image. Now we just want to use Autopsy to kind of browse through it, that type of thing. Now this is a disk partition image of an NTFS file system. So that's what we're specifying there. In number 2, I want to specify that this is not an entire disk image, just a partition image. Okay, and then I'll just choose Next. So after we've done this, I can also choose to calculate a hash value for the image. Calculating a hash means that we can determine whether changes were made to that data. And sometimes for admissibility of evidence in a court of law, you need to have hashes that you can prove are valid to determine whether unauthorized changes were made or not. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And down below, I'll just click the Add button. Okay, so at this point, we've got an MD5 hash. Excellent, looks good. So once that's done, I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click Analyze. So we've got our, apparently knows it's drive C, NTFS. We've got our image mounted. So I'm going to go ahead and click Analyze, and I'm going to click File Analysis up in the upper left. And over on the right, I can scroll down through the file system and get a list of files and directories and so on. Now, what I want to do is scroll all the way down until I get, let's say, to the Del1 folder. And if I click on that folder listing, notice that I've got a file that shows up here in red, which is deleted. Under the Del column, there's a check mark, file6.jpg. If I actually click that file, in most cases, it will be able to reconstruct what that actual file content looks like. In this case, it's just a sample graphic file with some text in it. So this gives us a sense then of how we can use some of the freely available tools available in Kali Linux to start perusing through disk, or in our case, partition disk images.